Oh, welcome to Money with Mark Albert. So glad you're all with me today. We're going to do a market update in the Durham area, part of the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. We have a special guest, real estate guy out in the Durham area, lives in Oshawa. It's Chad Pescod. And thank you for being with us today, Chad.
Thanks for having me on, Mark.
That's great. I get to know Chad a little bit in the last couple of years, and I really like him. And so I thought, well, if I like him, you guys are going to like him, right? So that's why I invited Chad to come on, and he's going to give us an update on real estate in the Durham area. So before we do that, this is first time on the channel, right, Chad? So let's get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Help us understand who is Chad, just so people can understand a bit who you are, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Well, Mark, I'm a husband. I'm a father of 2 young boys, which keeps me busy.
Yeah.
And I have a long history of sales. And for whatever reason, I love people and I love serving people.
That's good. That's a good combination. I have 2 kids too. But the fact that you love people, you enjoy people, obviously, and that's important for people in your position.
Well, and real estate was a very easy transition, and it made a lot of sense because like I said, I like people, I like serving people, and why not help them with the biggest investment they're ever going to make in their life?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do it to my best ability. So
yeah,
it gives me great satisfaction. It's a good fit. I'm glad I did it.
Well, that's good. And so I'm over here in Peel region, right? And of course you're in the Durham region. And in a second here, I want you to tell us what represents the Durham area, and tell us a little bit about Durham so we can understand. Some people from Toronto proper or Peel region, and they don't know Durham and how great it is. But before we do that, I want to let everyone know Chad's contact information. I'm going to put it below in the comments below, as well as in the notes. So if you want to reach out to him, whatever way, social media, call him, whatever like that, he's happy to help you to talk further about whatever you want to talk about in Durham. And so tell us a little bit about Durham.
Durham is a part of the GTA, and it's on the east side. It's the east side portion of the GTA.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So there are municipalities within Durham, and it's quite a wide swath. So from the westernmost point, which is closest to Toronto, there's Pickering, then there's Ajax, Whitby, and Brooklyn above that.
Yeah.
There's Brock, which is way up north. I don't know why it's actually included in Durham, but it is. It's almost like a country up there, living in the country. And east of Whitby is Oshawa. That's where I live, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then there's Clarington, and Curtis, and then Clarington.
Yeah. That's a
big...
Go ahead. Yeah. It's a big area.
And so it's an interesting beast, Durham, because the closer you get to Toronto, the more expensive it is, which makes sense. You're living close to the city. It's a shorter commute.
Yeah.
And that's Pickering, Ajax. Pickering is markedly more expensive than Ajax.
Yeah.
And so you have this interesting price wave that happens. You have Pickering, which is the highest, Ajax, which is a little bit lower. Whitby is almost in line with Ajax. Whitby is actually very expensive. Yeah. And there's Oshawa, and Oshawa dips right down.
Yeah.
And it brings the average price way down because that's where a lot of the opportunity lies. And I'm not just saying that because I live here.
Yeah.
Oshawa is one of the best value that you can buy for your money in GTA proper.
Yeah.
Not proper, but overall, sorry, the surrounding GTA.
Yeah.
And then there's Clarington beside that. And so Oshawa is down here. We're going to continue on this wavy graph here. And as we go up, Clarington rises a bit. And as we get as far out to Bowmanville, the prices are almost up to Whitby again.
Really?
So there's this dip. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with stigma in Oshawa.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, compare the price, like when we talk about pricing, right? We're going to get into the real estate market here, and we want to understand, and we've been getting into that. So I want to talk about, I'd like to hear from you, because I know you've been living in that area for years and years. So what trends and observations, you've already kind of started us a little bit on that, in terms of what you see in Durham. So if someone listening to this is like, hey, you know what, I live in Toronto, prices are crazy, or I'm renting and I want to buy a house, and where's the best place in the GTA that's reasonable and not too far from Toronto, these kind of things. Can you just address real estate market and just spend some time helping us understand what that's like out there?
Sure. So Durham is a bedroom community, not entirely, but a lot of people who live here are working in Toronto. And so that's been the overall 5 to 10 year, even probably 20-year look at Durham. But most recently, since COVID, for the past 6 months, we're seeing a huge influx of people coming from Toronto.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what that does to the market. We saw it happen a bit in 2016, 2017 as well. And it's partially investors, but it's for the most part people who want to live outside of Toronto for various reasons, the price, COVID right now.
Mhm.
So what we're seeing is people will sell whatever they have in Toronto or stop renting in Toronto and come here. And because they feel that the prices are so different, so drastically lower, they're willing to pay more than a local will here. So then when the local here sells,
Yeah.
they're moving east of us here, say Belleville, Kingston, wherever,
Yeah.
Prince Edward County, and they're going to pay more than locals will there. And there's this ripple effect that happens like a pond, like someone threw a pebble in the real estate pond, and it just ripples outward from Toronto. And it's a very fascinating thing to watch over the past five or 10 years, especially again with these most recent 6 months.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. So a lot of people, good place for people who want to, like, first time home buyers, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely, yeah, yeah. And again, especially in Oshawa. But that said, I'm finding a lot of people who come out of Toronto, they're first looking at Pickering and Ajax because they're really thinking about that commute. But I think that idea is going to be shaken loose in the near future, and it already has been, because we're looking at commuting and working differently. We're seeing that we don't have to be in Toronto.
That's right. Yeah.
And we may see a reversal of that at one point where people realize, hey, I'm not able to get as much done at home as I thought I could.
Yeah.
Or the prices will start to really come down like condos in Toronto, and there may be a back and forth swing. But typically what I feel happens in Toronto is younger people are moving there for careers and businesses.
Yeah.
And then we're starting to see people who are getting close to retirement age in Toronto coming this way. And to them, it's a very much more relaxed pace and lifestyle. And it's not as busy as Toronto, obviously. And there's more space. It's a different feeling here.
Yeah. So that's good because I know for me, I live in Brampton, right? And it's pretty busy in Brampton, a lot of
Very
people.
congested, very busy, yeah.
That's right. And so, sometimes I think, oh, move out in the country where you can more breathe and, and see trees and, all kinds of animals. I guess there's farmers in some parts of it, like, right?
Yep, that's right. And you mentioned first-time home buyers. And if you look at the average price in Toronto, which is what, $965, I think it is right now, compared to the average price in Durham. And when you say average price, that's the average of semis, that's detached, that's condos, that's townhomes, that's all of it grouped together.
Yeah.
So the average in Durham right now is $734,000. That said, if you're a first-time home buyer, $734,000, sorry. If you're a first-time home buyer, you can still buy a home here. And again, in Oshawa, I'm really driving Oshawa home hard here, but you can still buy a first-time home for between $500,000 and $550,000. That's pretty decent.
That's great. So
that's, and you have a backyard, and you're not on top of each other. And again, it's just a different feel, right? And for people who are looking to start a family, that's fantastic for them, right? That's really what they're after, is that quality of life.
Yeah. Sometimes people out in the Peel region, they like to move out to the Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area to kind of get away from it all because it's kind of not far. But a lot of people in Toronto, it'd be a similar scenario. In a big part of the GTA, you could move up into the Durham area and have that same kind of get away from the big city concept. Right?
For sure. And I'm from KW in Cambridge. I grew up there.
Yeah.
I've been here for 16 years in Oshawa.
Yeah.
But I'm from that area, so I still keep track of what's happening there. And that's getting as busy as Milton did 20 years ago. So it's the new Milton in my eyes.
That's right.
Oshawa and Durham in particular hasn't really come to that yet. It's getting there. Pickering is certainly getting there. But Oshawa, even Bowmanville, they're not quite as congested yet. There's still a lot of room for growth there.
Yeah.
And that also means there's a lot of room for growth in home prices.
Yeah, that's right. So if someone's thinking like, I want to invest, I want to build my net worth so that later in life, I have more financial strength and stability, and I'm going to be okay in the retirement years. They could say, I'm going to buy, it could be an investment property, obviously, but it could be their home, and prices are going to go up because anything attached to the GTA as Toronto goes up, everything's kind of going to follow suit.
Well, and another really peculiar thing that I've noticed is that Cambridge and KW is not in the GTA.
Yeah, that's right.
Oshawa, it is in the GTA?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought maybe I was wrong about that, but I was pretty certain that it was not. It's
No,
in
you're
our
right.
region.
Yeah.
But Oshawa is, and it's equidistant. So if you look at Toronto in the middle, where my tie is here,
Yeah.
and you look at Oshawa and Cambridge, they're equidistant.
Yeah.
So it's very fascinating to me that the east side got lumped in with the GTA, and such a large portion of the east side.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something else.
But you're right, it is lumped in with the GTA. And our prices are pretty similar to KW. So it's
yeah,
it's a fascinating thing to someone who likes that kind of thing, nerds like me. It's a very fascinating thing.
Hey, you know what? If someone's still with us on this video, they like this kind of thing. They're into this. Sure. They want to know, right? So
I hope so. I hope it's good for them. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And this is really helpful to think it through. And I would say anyone wants to talk further about that, they can reach out to you. But before we go, I'd like to have you maybe give us some advice for those listening. Okay, a lot of the people listening, they're listening because they're thinking through some real estate related stuff. So
right.
If someone was a seller or a buyer, what advice might you consider giving to them, or should they consider in either of those situations?
Sure. So for the seller side, I actually have a website, and like you said, the information is going to be below in the video. So if the viewers want to see that, they can click there. And it's called 10 Things You Should Know Before You Sell. And it breaks down what you should know. And one of the most important things in that top 10 list that I have, and the report that I give to people when they sign up for it, is you're the boss. So what you want to do is find the right agent for you and make sure you're a good fit. And try not to be shy about it, because this is your hard earnings. This is your home. This is your life. And I just don't get dictated by a pushy agent. And I'm not saying there's a bunch of them out there. I'm just saying find the right one for you, the right fit for you, someone who's going to listen to you. And when you do find that right person, what you want from them is the lay of the land. What's happening? Where are the best communities? What's happening in certain neighborhoods that they should know about? What development is happening business-wise? What have homes in your price category? And you should know your price category. What you should do is talk to Mark first, make sure that you get your numbers together for what you can afford. And that's where you start talking to someone like me. But once you do know your price category, ask your agent for a report on the last 30 days of those style homes in that price point for what they've sold for. And you don't need to know those numbers inside and out like the agent does, but the more informed you are, the better decision you can make. And it's a big decision, so you should be as informed as you can. The other portion of that report is what's listed right now. And you can get an update yourself by looking at realtor.ca, or realtors like myself and all the other agents say, we can set you up on something with an automatic update with homes that you're looking for. And part of finding the right agent is someone who's going to be patient enough to work with you on your timeline. Because it's not the agent's timeline, it's yours. And that's another thing I want you to not be shy about. Hold fast to that. Don't let someone push you through something. That said, be ready, because when the right place comes up, you want to pounce on it. So that's the buyer side. The seller side, I won't break down the 10. People can go to the information below.
Absolutely.
That report. But there's some basic things there that overlap on the buyer side. Make sure that you're comfortable with the realtor. Ask them what their history is. Maybe even phone a couple of their past clients and ask them. It's not unlike getting a quote from a lot of other people. And your expectations, they should be pretty high. They should be pretty high, because it's a big deal to sell a home.
I mean, this is the biggest investment a lot of people have, is their home or getting a home. It's the biggest purchase they'll ever make. So absolutely, really good advice there, Chad. And again, we're going to put Chad's info in that top 10 list. Will be in that link below. So for anyone who wants to drill down into that, you can. And well, listen, we really really appreciate all of you being with us this far in the video. And Chad, thank you so much for giving us insight into what's going on in Durham. And I know people who listen to this will really benefit from that. And hopefully someone will reach out to you and you can provide them personal advice. So listen, thanks for being with me, Chad.
Well, I appreciate it too, Mark. And even if nobody ever contacts me, but they get one piece of information from this that helps, we've all won. All
Right.
three parties have won. You,
That's
me,
right.
and whoever has learned something.
That's right. It's a win-win-win. I like
That's
it.
it.
I like it.
That's it.
So listen, thank you all for being with us as well. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Bye now.